Kelsey asked, do I have to be licensed to start a preschool? Well, unfortunately, that's not a yes or no answer because I don't know what state you live in. However, let me tell you the guidelines to be able to find out if you have to be licensed in your state. The very first step is to go to Google and type in your state, like Idaho, daycare licensing requirements. Now, your state could be Texas daycare licensing requirements, doesn't really matter. Just type that into Google and you'll usually find a website toward the top that says .gov. And those are the kind of websites that you're looking for. Go ahead and click on those. That's going to be your state's Department of Health and Human Services or some kind of thing like that, Department of Health and Welfare, their childcare guidelines for the state. Now, you're saying it's daycare and childcare, but Joy, I want to do a preschool, right? I know, but we still fall under the daycare licensing category, so we have to play by their rules and find out what their licensing requirements are. Now, what you're going to do is when you find those links, there are going to be a lot of different things, and what you're going to be looking for are the PDFs, and also if you join my 30-day challenge or if you have my Preschool in a Box, I give you all the PDFs for your state on your licensing requirements. If you've heard me mention in this video any of our products like our 30-day challenge or our complete preschool assessment toolkit or even our advanced profit strategies or even any of our systems like the success system or the teaching system or the hiring system or anything, right? Any of our systems, guess what? I have exciting news for you because you can get all of those for free as a Preschool All-Stars member. That's right, you've heard me talking about this before. As a member, you get access to our systems, done-for-you files, and step-by-step video trainings so that you can fast track your success to getting your preschool going. I've got every system you need from the moment you think about starting your preschool all the way to hiring teachers, to streamlining your tasks, to becoming a better preschool teacher, to making more money in your preschool, to filling your preschool classes, to hiring your teachers and your directors, to even creating a private kindergarten, and finally one day selling your preschool. I have it all from A to Z, and I can't wait to share it all with you. You're going to get exclusive free access to that inside of Preschool All-Stars. You'll also get access to me and hundreds of my preschool owners as we support you and cheerlead you on your journey. So if you'd like to be in this exclusive membership community, I invite you to join us. Click the link in the description or go to preschoolallstars.com. I can't wait to support you on this journey. Let's go. But you'll be looking for a PDF that has a lot of words, a lot of very technical words, and with all of the rules and regulations for your state's daycare licensing. Before you go reading that document, which is probably like hundreds of pages long, what I suggest instead is finding your state's daycare licensing phone number, because I have some questions that you can ask your licensor to be able to determine how many kiddos you can have without being licensed, and also what you need to do if you do want to be above that number to get licensed. The very first question you should ask, and these are really specific, guys, because we don't fall under the daycare world, so even if we fall under their license, they don't understand the preschool world. They're used to the daycare questions, like how many kids can I watch during a day? How many babies can I have? Like, do I have to do like diapers and all this other stuff, right? Okay, they're used to those questions which don't even apply to us. And so the questions that I'm going to be giving you are so good, guys. Be sure to write these down. These are the questions you're going to ask your licensor. Number one, how many children can I teach at one time without being licensed? In Idaho, that number is 6. Or I can have as many students as I want as long as they're 4 years old and up. So every state has a certain number of students that you can teach at one time without being licensed. Number 2, do my own children count toward that number? Because my one child is going to elementary, but my other one will be home during preschool time. So you do have to clarify, like, I will have one child at home during preschool. Does that kiddo count toward the number you just gave me above? And find out if that does or not. In Idaho, my own children do not count toward the number of children I can teach at any one time. So in Idaho, if I was able to have 6 students without being licensed, even if I had my own 2 children with me, that still means I could have 6 students and my 2 children. That is a total of 8 children at one time. Now, number 3, what is the staff to child ratio for preschool age children? This is really important because some people who fall under the daycare category, they take care of babies, right? Even though we're preschool, we only teach children ages 3 to 5. So you definitely want to specify with your preschool, it's only ages 3 to 5. What is the ratio? Ratio means the number of teachers to the number of students. Now in Idaho, I can have up to 12 points with one teacher. In Idaho, what a point means is basically any child from age 3 to 4 is 1 point each. Once they hit 5 years old, they are a half point, which means you can have more of them. If they are under 3 years old, they are different points. Like let's say I had a 2-year-old, that is going to be 1.5 points. So if I had a class full of 3 to 4-year-olds, I could have 12 students at one time to one teacher. But if I added a 2-year-old, then all of a sudden maybe I could only have 1 2-year-old and 10 of the 3 to 4-year-olds. So you can see that it's beneficial to stay within that 3 to 5-year-old age range. Number 4, if I do have to get a license, what educational degree or experience is required to get that license? Now in Idaho, there is no specific degree or experience, and in most states, there is not a specific degree or experience. It's only about 1 or 2 states that do require a specific degree or years of experience, and in those ones, don't worry. I give you other suggestions on how to go around that to be able to teach your preschool without being licensed by teaching again that minimum number of students, or hiring somebody with that degree, or starting with the minimum number of students and then going to college to get that degree to be able to go above that number and to get licensed. So where there's a will, there's a way. Number 5, what types of inspections are required if I do need to be licensed? Usually you'll find things like a fire inspection, a state health department inspection. All of those are pretty easy to pass and pretty minimal. Number 6, will I need a criminal history background check if I need to get licensed? The answer is probably 100% of the time, yes, you will need to get a background check. But guess what? As long as you haven't had any serious offenses in your background, you'll be just fine. Number 7, are there any specific home requirements, like if I have a pet or a pool or a playground or fencing? Are there any of those requirements that I need to worry about if I need to be licensed? Now, most states will have you fence in your backyard, as well as if there's a pool on your property, you'll definitely want to have that fenced in for the children's safety. Pets are one of those things that is a state-by-state basis, but I give you actually great tips about pets in a different video. Number 8, are there any other agencies or departments that I need to check with if I need to be licensed? Now, if you live in a subdivision, you will need to check with your HOA to see if they allow in-home preschools. Almost every subdivision I've ever heard of allows that without a problem, and HOAs are just fine with it. But you definitely still want to check. Also, you'll want to check with your city's planning and zoning department to see if you need a special use permit. Number 9, what are the fees associated with getting a license? Now, there's a couple different things you might experience. Number 1 is the actual license itself. It varies anywhere between $50 to up to $300 or more, depending on if you're going to create just an in-home preschool or a center-based preschool. Obviously, the larger the preschool license, the larger the fee that you're going to be paying to get that license. Licenses usually renew about every 2 years, just so you know. If you do need to get a special use permit, I know that you might be kind of balking at the price, because sometimes special use permits are anywhere from $600 to $1,000. But guys, come on, if you're able to have a preschool in your house and be able to generate between $5,000 to $10,000 every single month, don't you think it's worth it? Yeah, it is. Guys, it's called an investment for a reason, right? Sometimes you have to spend a little bit of money to make the money on the back end. So would I say, oh, I will never start my preschool because I had to pay that $600 fee? Well, shoot, then I wouldn't have earned my $1.75 million through the 10 years that I had my preschool program. Do you think that $600 paid off? Yes. As for inspections, a health inspection was about $35. Again, your state might be different. A fire inspection was about $20. A background check was about $55, and my CPR first aid certification was about $50. And I do pay that for every teacher that I have come on. I pay for her background check and her CPR first aid certification to keep her current. And number 10, how long does it take for an application to be processed if I have to be licensed? Now, applications can take anywhere from 30 days, I was able to get mine done in 30 days, all the way up to a couple months. So that's why it's super important to get the process started as quickly as possible. So those, my friends, are the top 10 questions to figure out how you can start a preschool without being licensed, and if you need to be licensed, how do you do that, and how much will it cost, and what's the process really included with that? I hope that served you. Post in the comments below how many students you can have without needing to be licensed and what state you live in. I'd love to find out. And as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share so I can get you more of these videos in your hands.